All right, everyone, welcome back into another props video. Going to be touching on the top prop bets here for Taco Tuesday on PrizePicks. Let's go ahead and get into it. So, guys, we've been on a pretty nice hot streak. Specifically, the 9-to-5 cheat sheet has been on a great run. Hopefully, you guys have been able to take advantage of that. Right now, the cheat sheet has given us two good bets again today. It's going to be Isaiah Hartenstein for under his fantasy score and Wayne Knight for under anytime touchdowns there. So two really good bets. Obviously, we're going to want to use those if they're going to be still available by the time you guys get there. Don't really have a big take on Wayne Knight, whether or not we should be targeting that one. It's a college football prop bet that, I think it's like JMU. Don't know much about them, but obviously good bet. Don't want to be passing up on good bets like that. But let's go ahead and break down the Isaiah Hartenstein one, because I think that's important to call out, because Brook Lopez is also favored for the under as well. So let's take a peek at these two here. Now, if you guys want my kind of bigger breakdown for the slate, I already touched on some prop bets for the NBA Cup. I'll have that link, or I'll have that in the comment section below, guys. Check that out if you guys would like to. But in that video, I kind of mentioned that with Isaiah Hartenstein and Brook Lopez kind of going up against each other, I do think that that is an interesting spot where both teams could choose to go small in this game. Maybe we end up seeing a little bit more Jalen Williams at the 5, and maybe we end up seeing a little bit more of Bobby Portis. I could see that happen. I think that's within the realm of possibilities. At the same time, this is going to be a difficult matchup for Isaiah Hartenstein and Brook Lopez as well. So the fact that this data is already telling us to bet the under, I'm kind of okay with that. Now, Isaiah Hartenstein has been pretty darn productive thus far this season since he's returned from injury, but his production has been a little bit random as well. I think it's worth calling out, though, that like DVP wise, it actually does like his over here, which I would disagree with that. Like looking at his minutes lately, they have been a little bit higher. I guess it's about the same as what he's projected to get. 33 in the last game, though, against Houston. So a little bit higher there in that game than what he's projected here, 31 minutes. But the projection data likes the under there as well. And if we pull up his game log, we can see it's been very close, but he's only gotten the over once recently. And to me, this is a difficult matchup going against Brook Lopez. And at the same time, Brook Lopez is someone that could get multiple blocks as well, but he draws a little bit more of a difficult matchup as well, I would say, going against OKC as well. So the fact that the data is telling us to bet the under on both of these, I'm much more inclined to do this. And so this isn't as crazy of a edge, I would say. Obviously, the average sportsbook line and the projection data both being the same, that really tells us what we should be expecting. Now, Brook Lopez is someone that should get the minutes. He is someone that can get multiple blocks, which could really lead to him getting the over. But I don't know, just given this game, it feels like it could end up being more of a Chris Middleton game to me, but also just probably just going to be a ball-heavy game for Giannis and Dame, having good games there as well. So we could see Brook Lopez again going against Hartenstein, maybe not be as productive. So I like the idea of using those two, but I also like the idea of using those two together as a stack. And then for what's worth, we do have Chris Middleton popping up for his under fantasy score as well. We need to take a peek at his minutes projection. Still going to be limited minutes-wise. At least that's what the projection data is telling us. 23 minutes is what he's projected to get. This is not one where I feel like we need to go in on. I kind of could see this being a game in which Chris Middleton actually gets hot shooting the basketball. Now, guys, I want to go ahead and get into some college basketball prop bets, because we are getting some decent prop line differences with those prop bets, specifically with the fantasy score lines. And we know these are the ones that are typically giving us the biggest edges here. But let's start here. So we got two prop bets here where, compared to Vegas, what their expectations are, they're off by a decent amount, at least two. Well, we got three of those that are off by at least two compared to how Vegas sees the game going compared to the average sportsbook line. But we got RJ Lewis and also RJ Davis, interesting there, that are also 52% likelihood or better to get the over as well. So those are two bets that I don't mind. We'll take a peek at those two. What we'll notice with Lewis is that he's been a little bit hit or miss in terms of getting the over. Not really any conclusion here looking at his game log. Now, RJ Davis, I think we'll see it's much more intriguing, I would say, given the lines that we're getting on him. We know that the minutes should most likely be there for him in this matchup against Florida as well. Again, it'll be interesting to see what the underdog lines are for this. If you guys are some that bets on both sides, just be on the lookout for it. Sure, I'm going to encourage these bets as bets for Taco Tuesday, but don't be shy to run these back on underdog as well. That's kind of been the theme, is that one of the sites, when we see some big prop line differences, has been wrong. Thus, college basketball has been pretty darn profitable. We've been on a really nice hot streak lately. And again, I think a lot of it is due to college basketball being back. Lots of big edges that have been created there on the cheat sheets. But I do think it's worth calling out here with RJ Davis, guys. In his last game, he did not get the over. That game was a blowout, only 27 minutes in this game. So going against Florida, even though it's a little bit more difficult matchup for him, we expect those minutes to be there for him, at least 35 in this game. And if he does get those 35 minutes, then he should be likely to get that over. Now, there are a couple other ones that I want to pull up here that I kind of like here as well. A lot of people are betting on Colin Murray spoils to get over his fantasy score. You look at his game log, you can see why. I don't know. I'm worried about the matchup with Clemson, by far his most difficult matchup there. So like upon further review, that's one where I wouldn't want to be on, and some people are getting there. I don't mind Walter Clayton Jr. to get over his fantasy score, kind of continuing his success here as well. Again, it's going to be a pretty solid matchup going against UNC. Should be a game that stays close as well. And his line isn't off by that much, but it's one where I could see potentially stacking it with RJ Davis there as well. Then we got another one here. Eric Dixon for over his fantasy score is a decent one here, with the line at 33.5, about a 52.3% or 52.5% likely to hit. And again, we can see he has consistently gone this over, which I don't know. You guys know by now. That always worries me. It's like, oh, why is that line there then? Like, oh, he's been consistently getting that over. Vegas kind of thinks he's going to regress back down to his mean. So that always does worry me a little bit there. But I don't mind. I mean, you know, if you round up 53% likely to hit, not a terrible bet there as well. And I think it's worth calling out here, guys. Cooper Flagg, I'm not going to touch for his fantasy score. Just the projection data likes the over. The average sportsbook line likes the under there. Could be a little bit predicated on his minutes as well in this game. Duke is going against GMU, and we can see in a kind of the past couple of games, got a foul trouble against UL, and then the last game just didn't need the minutes. And so given this matchup, that could just be part of it, is that this game is most likely going to be a blowout, and maybe just isn't the reason as to why it is a blowout there. So that's the concern there with him. All right, guys, so jumping into the 9 to 5 bet of the day. Again, if you guys want access to the 9 to 5 cheat sheet, it's been crushing lately. Make sure to head on over to 9to5sports.com. Use the promo code KEEPCASHING to get 20% off your first 9 to 5 month membership. Take advantage of that, guys. But we jump on into the 9 to 5 bet of the day here. It is worth calling out. Again, guys, we've been on a hot streak. The cheat sheet's been really crushing it lately. Do not be surprised if there is a bad day here soon. Recently, it's been a little bit better than the expected average. Just a lot of consistency in terms of the bets hitting, the bet slips hitting as well. So I'm a little bit concerned that there could be a bad day here. But looking at it, guys, the two clear-cut bets are going to be Isaiah Hartenstein and Wayne Knight. Now, I wish I could encourage like just doing a 3-slip bet with those two, but we know on PrizePicks that's just a terrible bet because it's only 5x return, especially compared to some other sites. But these are the two best bets here. Isaiah Hartenstein, Wayne Knight, as it currently sits. If they get bumped, we'll see. But again, I do like pairing Brook Lopez and Isaiah Hartenstein up together. I think that's a pretty solid stack there. But that's going to do it for today's video, guys. Good luck with all your bets today. Comment your guys' favorite prop bet. If not, just leave an emoji. That helps out a lot. Leave a like. That's all, guys. Let's have a... Oh, guys, tomorrow morning, I'm going to be releasing a just refresher on some tips and tricks for NBA betting. So be on the lookout for that tomorrow morning. Excited to get that to you guys. Thanks for watching. Good luck. And as always, let's keep cashing.